What is up, my fellow degenerates? Welcome to In the Crosshairs, presented by Line Sniper, your definitive source for sports betting content and in-game analysis. I'm your host, Daily Baker, coming to you live from this Line Sniper studio, and today we have a big show for you. We finally have the return of the NBA, with the first games happening in just a few hours. We have our NBA expert, Scott, here to give us the rundown on that. We have some updates on the MLB, and in the wake of the Marlins COVID outbreak, our man Jalen will run us through all of those issues. And we'll bring in our NFL specialist, Joey the Knish, to talk about the first week of games, the opt-outs, and everything else NFL. We have all of this on today's episode of In the Crosshairs. Like I said, we have a big show, so let's get started. We haven't had NBA games since March 11th, which at this point feels like forever ago. Since then, we've had delays, we've had cancellations. The whole association is based out of Florida, which still boggles my mind. And now let's bring in our NBA analyst, Scott, to run us through the upcoming games. But first, Scott, very important, we have the NBA back. How are you feeling about that? Are you excited?
Oh, I am excited. I am ready for the NBA to come back. I've been chomping at the bit, got some futures positions hanging in the balance, so I'm ready to see how those shake out. Hopefully the quality of play returns to pre-COVID levels by the time the playoffs roll around, because I think it's going to be a really exciting playoffs. And hopefully this bubble holds up, keeping everyone healthy. Hopefully everybody stays tight, hangs tight, doesn't run out, going to strip clubs and whatnot, and we can keep everyone safe.
Got to stay away from Magic City, that's for sure. I don't care what the quality of basketball is. I'm just excited to have it back. And Scott, let's start with the reopening night that starts in just a couple of hours. We've got the Pelican Jazz at 6:30, Lakers Clippers at 9. Who do you like for that?
Right. So, early on in this season coming back, I'm going to be looking to take the points wherever I can and unders, lean towards deep teams that place an emphasis on defense, because offensive play will likely be a bit sloppy out of the gate for a few games. One thing to mention is that PointsBet is currently has a no juice promo going on for NBA spreads. So I'll definitely be taking advantage of that going forward. But let's get into the games, starting with Pels Jazz. I know the Pels are in must-win mode, but the Jazz are a defensively focused team. They always play hard, getting the points. Plus, the public is pretty giddy about Zion, and I never mind fading the public. So I'm on Jazz +3 at PointsBet with that no juice promo I mentioned. I've got some +130 money line that I got at Caesars as well. I don't think the number is quite that high at this point, but I still like them getting the plus money. And I also like the under, which is steamed higher to as high as I think 228. I've seen it. So, and I liked it even lower. So if you can grab some 228 under, I think that's a solid number. In the, in the LA showdown, same idea, too much plus money for such a strong team. And the public likes the Lakers. I took the underdog Clippers +4.5 at PointsBet with no juice. And I'll look to add to that now that it's moved to 5. I'm on some +170 money line. Again, that's moved up, so I'll probably look to add there as well. And then I like the under again, which is currently trading around 219.5. I think there's going to be some sloppy play early on.
Here at Line Sniper, we're fading the haters whenever possible. Our boy Scotty likes the Jazz over the Pelicans. He doesn't care about Zion coming back. Clips over the Lakers in the Battle of the West that is now Orlando. All right, now let's take a step back. Basketball is back. We're all excited. We're all pumped. But let's not lose sight of the goal here. That's the championship. Let's talk about it. We mentioned the Lakers and Clippers, both in the championship conversation, along with the Bucks, of course. But Scott, outside of those three, do you see any dark horses, anybody that's going to come up and crash the party, take on the title?
Potentially, with the rust and the strange bubble situation, no fans, this stuff all favors the long shots. While I still think those three teams you mentioned are the three to beat, there are a few juicy prices out there that I'll dabble in. The Jazz are available at 60 to 1 at Caesars last I looked, and you could find the Mavs at 50 to 1 at DraftKings. These are a couple strong teams. Mavs very strong in point differential throughout the season. I found them underrated all season long, and then the Jazz are a great defensively focused team that, with a sloppy style coming back, I think they could do a little bit of damage. But that being said, I wouldn't go crazy. The cream should rise to the top yet again. I think the Bucks will be facing one of the LA teams in the finals.
I like it. You bring up some good points about the Jazz. It'll be interesting to see how Mitchell and Gobert work together, especially, it all started with Gobert, so it's definitely going to be interesting. And the Lakers to walk away with at least the Western Conference in Orlando It still sounds weird to say, but NBA's back. I'll take it. All right, Scott. Thanks for all your advice on that. We're going to bring you back in a little bit, but first let's switch gears a bit, and we're going to go from the bubble to the gridiron. Let's talk a little football. In the wake of everything happening with the NBA reopening and the MLB running into some issues, the NFL seems to still be on track to come back in September, but here's the hoping. But with players opting out, possibilities of a shortened season, and with the Washington football team being the disaster that it is right now, it's time to bring in our man, Joey Knish, the Knishner, to help us make a little sense of what's going on. Knish, how you doing, man?
Daily, Baker the Moneymaker, what's happening, brother? Good to be on with you. Good to get a little bit back here. We got NBA rolling, and now we're talking the wheelhouse, the Knish family backlog. NFL football right around the corner. I'm getting ready for it.
I love it. I'm really hoping it's right around the corner. I love it. I want to start off week 1, September 10th, I believe. We've got the Texans and Chiefs, and then a full slate after that. Who do you like? Any surefire winners?
Week 1, favorite bet on the board right now. I'm going to America's team, Uncle Jerry. Cowboys -2.5 at the Rams. I think you're going to see a little bit of, the home field advantage not being there across the league. I don't know if it's fully priced in yet. They're not going to be coming off any travel. I've got this Cowboys -5, -5.5 on a neutral. If you're thinking, at most, I'm going to be, factoring in maybe a half point to an, full point at the absolute most. If there's no fans in the stands, you don't get the crowd noise, you don't get some of the refereeing bias. So for me, this is pretty much neutral site games across the NFL. You might get some, back-to-back travel situations, but the bottom line is that I think this price is short. The Cowboys are a buy team for me. The Rams are a sell team. So I think it's right out of the gate, a game that I really like. I'm laying the 2.5 here. I think you'll see it as we get closer to game week. Go 3.5. I think it's going to go over the key number of 3. I'm buying. I've already in on it for a decent chunk. Cowboys -2.5 week 1. Like it a lot.
The Knish has spoken. He likes the Cowboys. I'm sure our boy Stephen A. Smith would disagree with you, but there's plenty of games. We like the Cowboys. It is a contract year for Dak after all. Let's see if he plays big. Now, let's switch gears a little bit.
Pay the man. If he covers for us week 1, he can get his contract.
That's what I'm saying. That's all we're saying here at Line Sniper. But let's switch gears a little bit. And we're still talking money here. Let's talk about these opt-outs. We're going to continue to monitor them as we get closer to September. We've already seen a long list with a bunch of the Pats are taking a seat this season, I should say. How are these going to affect the player props coming up, and if so, which of these?
You're going to see it here. Any skill position opt-out, especially if it's a wide receiver 1, a running back 1, and you just saw it this week with the Chiefs with Damian Williams opting out. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, was a rookie that a lot of people were high on, was a big, buy guy in a lot of, fantasy draft leagues, or, if you liked his player prop totals or offensive rookie of the year. Now, he was already expected to get a nice share. Now he's the guy. Now he's running back 1. So for me, he's the chalk for offensive rookie of the year now at a lot of places, even over Burrow. So you see things like that, and if you're going to get these opt-outs or COVID diagnosis, and a guy's going to be out for a couple of weeks, that's going to totally change kind of the target share or the carry load and the volume, where, if a wide receiver 1 goes out, or has happened here, a running back 1 goes out, they're going to be able to, if you're on top of the information, you can buy on those, as far as, being able to react to that and getting player prop overs, getting some weekly, player props. So that's the thing to be on the lookout for, not only in the offseason here with the opt-outs, but as we go through the season. As far as a player prop that I like, that I've already played, and that's widely available right now, it's the Todd Gurley under. He's available 825.5 yards. I've seen that, it's a little bit different if you shop around, but for me, Gurley, I would be surprised if he's a guy that's ever healthy again in his career. He's got the degenerative knee condition, the tendonitis in his knee. He's not going to be a guy that's ever going to get the 15 carry or any of that type of load. He's going to get running back 2 workload. I think really, and you've seen it his skill set is just in his explosiveness. It's not what it used to be. I would be surprised if he's getting any more than 8 to 10 touches per game, and that's if he plays all 16. So for me, that's an under I like a lot. I don't think his workload, even if he stays healthy, is going to be big. Under for me on all the girly rushing props.
Yeah, I think a lot rides this season on these former SEC running backs, don't they? I mean, you said it with Williams opting out. That's huge opportunity for Hilaire, and I'm gonna have to agree with you. I don't think Todd Gurley's got much of the tank. I love him, but it's not a positive outlook for that former Georgia Bulldog. One Bulldog I do like this season, my boy Nick Chubb for the Browns. We'll see what happens. Now, Knish, one more thing. Tell us what you've been seeing on the divisional side of things. Anything people should be looking out for in their sports books?
I'm going right back to the well with America's team, baby. I'm all in on the Cowboys this year. NFC Championship plus 850. I think for me, on the conference championship bets, that's the best one on the board preseason. And I'll tell you why. It's because of the NFC contenders, and you go division by division, who's got what I would say the easiest path to a division crown, and I think it's the Cowboys. I'm way down on the Giants. They just lost their starting left tackle, Nate Soldier, and an opt-out. I don't think the Redskins, even though they have a nice amount of young talent, they brought in Ron Rivera, they're trying to get the organization cleaned up. I think they're a year or two away from really being able to be a team, that can contend for a division title. And I'm a sell on the Eagles. I'm not a Carson Wentz guy. I'm not an overall fan. I don't think they've made a lot of roster moves to upgrade it through the offseason. So for me, Cowboys are far and away the best team in that division. And what's it about when you're talking about, buying a preseason future, punching yourself a ticket, getting into the playoffs, and I think the Cowboys have the best chance to do that. They're my highest rated team in the NFC going into the season. I like the Cowboys 850. That's pretty widely available. Especially if they get off to a hot start. We're just taking in week 1. That 850, especially because Cowboys public team, people are going to want to buy if they start off hot. That is not going to be there for very long if they're the team that we think they are going into the season. So for me, I like that to win the NFC, Cowboys 850, and hopefully they can make a little bit of a run for us.
I mean, you said it. The NFC East is all over the place. It'll be interesting to see if there becomes a QB competition with the Eagles. And speaking of QBs, we said it before, our boy Dak, he's looking to get paid. He's got Zeke Elliott, Amari Cooper, CeeDee Lamb. It is a stacked lineup for the Dallas Cowboys. I agree with you. I think they got a good shot. All right, thank you, Knish. Don't go anywhere. We'll bring you back in a minute for our roundtable discussion later on, but that's later, and we still have another sport to tackle. That's the MLB and last week's opening games. Since baseball came back last week, several of the games went off without a hitch, but almost as soon as it began, we ran into problems. We got the Marlins out for who knows how long, 18 members of the team and immediate staff testing positive for coronavirus, and several other games have been postponed, including games for the Yankees, Orioles, White Sox, the list goes on. At this time, I want to welcome in MLB expert Jalen onto the show to give us a little more insight on what exactly is going on. Jalen, how you doing, my man?
I'm good. Honestly, it's great just to have some games there for baseball. For a while, it was looking like there might not even be a season, but glad the players in the league could come together, even if it's not for 100% of the games as we've seen this past week. Yeah.
Absolutely. And I want to jump right into it with you. Tell us what you think is happening with the Marlins. Are they going to be able to come back from this? Is their whole season just a wash? How does this affect win totals and futures bets?
As far as futures bets goes, I'd stay way, way away for anything with Miami. I know a lot of people look for those bottom of the league teams to kind of get some value, but I wouldn't touch them as far as their season goes. The commissioner said that as long as a team maintains its, quote, competitive integrity, they'll continue to have a season. But with 13, now 18, and probably still rising day by day players and staff out, it's hard to see a world where they let Miami play out the entire season.
Competitive integrity, that sounds like some legalese I don't understand. I also don't understand. MLB is not working in a bubble. These players are traveling. They might be going to Magic City. Who knows? But I don't have much faith in the Marlins with or without COVID, but we'll see. But Jalen, I want to talk about this weekend's full slate of games. We've got a bunch to look forward to, and tonight we've got some series ending and some just starting. We've got the Dodgers Diamondbacks later on, Mets Braves, Yankees Red Sox coming up. Jalen, tell me who do you have your eyes on this weekend? What's the hot ticket? What's it looking like?
I mean, come on, you can't ever ignore a Yankees-Red Sox series. It'll always be one to watch. The Red Sox haven't been as impressive as years prior, but they have shown some of their flashes of that excellent offense that we know they have. And then we also have Tanaka making a season debut for the Yankee, a fan favorite, just a seasoned veteran of the league. And I'm also looking out for the San Diego and Colorado series. Both teams have come up to a hot start with 4-1 and 4-2 records. The Rockies starting pitching has kind of hit their stride and they look good. And then San Diego's young pitching core, as well as Tatis Jr. and Machado, coupled with a couple other strong stars, look to provide for an exciting series there.
A lot of young talent out there, with the shortened season, if someone gets hot early, you never know what could happen. But, Jalen, I did want to just get one more thing from you, and that's some players' props. Obviously, we have a lot of guys who are starting to warm up and just get them acclimated with not playing after so long. Who should we be watching out for this week?
Definitely in the game tonight, we're looking at the Indians and the Twins. Looking for Bieber to come with another strong starting performance, over 6.5 strikeouts at minus 160. And we're looking for Cruz over 0.5 runs at even money. Both those are looking like really good plays. Cruz has had a solid, strong last game. Same with Bieber. And although he's not looking to continue that 21 strikeout performance, replicate it, 6.5 is a good line for him.
Hey, as an Indians fan, I'll take 21 strikeouts from Bieber. I'm gonna be a believer that we're gonna get 21 from him at every outing. And Nelson Cruz, the guy's he's staying hot. He brought in 4 runs on Sunday. Could be another good weekend for him as well. Jalen, thank you for your insight. Hopefully you folks at home can cash in, make some money off of America's pastime. We're gonna be now that we've heard from all of you guys on baseball, the NFL, and the NBA's return, I want to bring you all back for our roundtable discussion. Knish, Scotty, Jalen, welcome back. Now, one thing, as I'm losing my mic here, I'm so excited. We have so much sports. Now we're already seeing the MLB's plans, started. It's getting a little bit derailed. NBA's gonna come off tonight. We'll see how that happens. I want your opinions on whether or not the NFL is going to start in September as planned. Scott, let's start with you.
Yeah, I think the season's going to happen. I think the fans want sports, our president wants sports, and enough players seem willing to risk it. What's clear with Major League Baseball is that the owners, they care about their wallets more than the well-being of the players. Half the Marlins team has COVID, and they've been trying to push through. I know, maybe they get suspended for that one team, but you got a lot of players testing positive. It's kind of a mess, and MLB just keeps pushing forward. So I expect the NFL to follow that same playbook. I do anticipate it being a little bit ugly, but I think they're just going to try to power through.
I like it. Knish, what do you think?
I think that I don't know why you went to Scott first when we're talking NFL here instead of going to the king of the gridiron, Uncle K here. So I'll let that slide. I'll let that slide.
Forgive me.
Even though, unfortunately, I agree with them. I think they're going to, and you've got to learn from what's happened here with MLB baseball and some of the delays they've had in testing. Hopefully the NFL is more on top of the rapid testing, the daily process, where instead of what's happened in the MLB, where an outbreak starts in the locker room, where you can test daily, and if a guy comes back as he's coming into the facility, test positive, you quarantine him. So that way you're not getting these, 10, 15, 20 guy outbreaks in a locker room there. That's what can really throw off the field. Long as they can contain it, COVID's going to be a part of our life here. Long as they can manage it well, I think they're going to do everything they can to play.
I like it. And no disrespect, there's so much, sports are all back now. I'm just getting a feel for things. I won't pass you over that. And again, I apologize. Jalen, what do you think?
No, it's all right. Hey, listen, I'll let you slide this time. If it happens next episode, we might have a little bit of an issue here.
Noted. Thank you. I appreciate it. Jalen, NFL Week 1, what do you think?
I mean, I think it's got to happen. They could definitely look to the NBA to see what does work. And obviously, as you heard here, look to the MLB to see what doesn't and kind of build upon that and give people football. Good thing about football is even with a number of the players opting out, there's so much exciting talent coming with the draft. I know I'm personally excited to see skilled position players like Burrow, Tua, and then just the good receivers, CeeDee Lamb, Judy.
Yeah, definitely a lot of talented wide receivers, quarterbacks coming this year. All right, guys, before I let you go, I want to do one rapid fire question, just off the cuff. I'm going to go sport by sport for each of you. Just give me off the top of your head. I want to hear who's going to walk away with the championship. Jalen, in the MLB, who's taking home the World Series?
We've got the Yankees. They replaced Severino with Garrett Cole, another ace. Shortened season. They're not going to be bogged down by injuries, so that's who we like this season.
Finally, could be the year. It's been a little bit for the Yanks. We'll see. All right, Knish, NFL, Super Bowl champ. Who do you like?
Get your flag out because America's team is taking the Super Bowl home this year. We gave out the future. Uncle Jerry's getting his finally Super Bowl back to the golden age of football when the Cowboys, baby, are taking home. Get all the futures you want. Best team in the NFL. Well, maybe not with the Chiefs and the Ravens. But hey, get the price you want right now with the Cowboys. It's my favorite bet on the board. I like Dallas all the way.
Knish, we got to get you a shirt, just America's team. You just wear that every show. Well, I like it.
That's right. Hey, listen, as soon as we cover week one, if they don't cover week one, I'm not going to be able to have a shirt on my back. So if they cover week one, then I'll get, maybe a Dak jersey here, contribute to a GoFundMe for his contract.
I like it. All right, Scott, in the NBA, it's starting tonight. We got 9 teams in the East, 13 in the West for this to make the playoffs and bring home the championship. Who do you like to walk away with it all?
Yeah, so my big championship wager prior to the season starting was the Milwaukee Bucks, and I'm staying on that train. They have the easier path than the 2 LA teams, as those two have to get through each other before facing Milwaukee. Plus, I just think the Bucks are the strongest team. Point differential in the season backs that up. My strategy in the West, if you're just looking at the West, is to bet Lakers to win the West at a price of plus 150 because they have the easier first round matchup than the Clippers. If it's a Lakers versus Clippers Western Conference Finals, and the Clips are still healthy at that point, I actually slightly lean Clips in that series. So I'd look to take the Clips side at plus money probably in that series to hedge a little bit on the Lakers bet. But I like the Bucks all the way.
I like it. Things are pretty close, so stick with us at Line Sniper. We'll keep you updates to make sure you cash in on those quick bets and your overall winners. Well, everyone, that is going to do it for today's episode. Thank you for all the analysts for their hot takes, their hot advice. Thank you for everyone watching. Hope you guys can take some of your bets and find yourself a winner, make a little bit of money this weekend. We'll be right back with you next week for even more of the biggest games of the week. Until next time, this has been In the Crosshairs, brought to you by Line Sniper, your definitive source for sports betting content and in-game analysis. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Daily Baker. We'll see you next time.